Welcome back to another action-packed episode of Comic Confidential. I'm your host, Cade Moyer, and alongside me, as always, that is Troy Spinner. How are you, mate?
I am fantastic, mate. I am the most pumped I've ever been in my life.
You look it, you sound it, and I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, because this is how I always look and sound. I'm basically a robot. I have no real emotion.
You're not even a real person.
No.
You're just like the new Siri. You're Troy.
Yeah, I'm basically... All I am is a computer program of a voice that you use in order to make it seem like you have a co-host / friend.
Yeah, you know how long it takes me to write the script each week for this podcast?
Yeah.
Insane amount of time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Because some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth is pure gold, and that doesn't just happen overnight or impromptu.
Making terrible puns takes me hours to write.
Yeah, it does. Dad jokes weren't created in a day, my friend.
No, they weren't. 9 months.
9 months.
You have 9 months to think of dad jokes. That's universal law.
Okay, yeah, cool. So in the time that you're, developing your dad dick,
Yeah.
that's the same amount of time that you're developing your ability to create dad jokes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You know what?
So you get two amazing things. You get a dad dick, you get the ability to make jokes, and I guess you also get a kid. So two good things.
Two good things. You know what?
Yeah.
I just thought of a great idea, and I don't know if it's ever been done. Why isn't there like a dad joke stand-up, like open mic night?
Well, they kind of like that sort of thing's happening now on the internet that we love. It's that try not to laugh.
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing. It's like dad joke off.
Yeah,
not,
right.
Not jerk off. It's a dad joke off sort of thing where two guys try to make each other laugh with silly jokes.
I would be hopeless at that.
Yeah, oh, man, I laugh at anything.
Yeah, I'm like almost laughing now thinking of dad jokes.
yeah, it's good. It's good. You know what's not funny?
What?
Competition winners. Not that they're not funny.
Well, they
I didn't
could
have
be.
a segue.
Yeah, that's a great segue. Troy.
Yeah, I didn't really have one.
I'm going to compliment you.
Look, we put out a competition the other day, a couple of weeks ago. I think it was for episode 87, and we said, hey, we're sitting on 76 goddamn reviews. We want to get to 80, and we're going to give you 4 weeks to do it. So we're giving you to episode 91 to give us 4 more reviews, and you guys did it in 2 goddamn weeks.
Machines, mate.
Absolute machines. So what we have got is we have 4 people who have reviewed us, and 4 people who have gone in the chance to win a chance to record a very special Patreon-only episode, Just the Boys, which, if you're not on Patreon, is a show that we do every now and then, which is basically just you and I and sometimes an occasional guest, like an Amy or something. And we'll just jump in and just talk about crap.
Whatever tickles our fancy at that point of time.
Sometimes it's stuff that matters. Most of the time it's stuff that doesn't. But we've been known to get deep.
Yeah, we got deep last time. We did an hour-long episode.
An hour-long, Just the Boys. We went balls deep on that one. Balls deep.
Balls deep.
Look, so what we have is Azza36. Now, I'm not going to actually read out the reviews. I'll just read out the titles because, it could take a little bit of time. But we've got Azza36, whose review was titled Sweet.
Sweet?
Sweet. So, sweet with an O. I guess.
Right.
Yep. We had Pat K. Mullen 678, who said, if you like comics, movies, or TV, you'll have a blast. Which is true, I think.
I think so.
That's very accurate. Dobby, a.k.a. The Dude, great podcast. Thank you, Dobby.
Well, he's
We
not
do
wrong.
try. We do try. And Celtic Chaz, #1 podcast today. I don't know about that, but at least in that young man's
At
eyes,
least when he
we
wrote
are.
that.
We were.
Yeah. Today, he's like, no, not #1, boys.
No, have you seen that new Ricky Gervais one that's come out? That's so much better.
Is it?
It's only a promo so far. But still.
Who does that?
It's Ricky Gervais.
He's going to have 1 billion downloads.
I think he already has 1 billion downloads, and it's literally a 48-second promo.
That's ridiculous.
That guy can, put out fart noises and people listen. I would listen.
Have you downloaded it?
Yeah. I'm already
You're
subscribed,
a sheep,
man.
mate. You're a sheep.
I am already subscribed. I'm keen to hear what the guy has to say. He's hilarious.
Yeah, but he's very opinionated and generally wrong a lot of the time.
Yeah,
But
it's subjective.
yeah.
We're also wrong a lot of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So, we have figured out a winner. There's only 4, but we did a random number generator for a number of certain times. It's like this massive, like, Goodwill Hunting on the board at MIT algorithm thing that we both had to solve. And the winner is, Kay, do you want to announce who the winner is?
I haven't got my notes with me,
God
mate.
damn you, man. I'll do it then. The winner is Celtic Chaz. There'll be fanfare.
Yeah.
Kate's going to edit in some fanfare.
They'll be clapping and cheering and wooing.
and
Well
all that
done,
sort
mate.
of stuff. So well done. We will get in contact with you, or you'll get in contact with us. Someone's going to get in contact with someone. And you'll join us on a very special episode of Just the Boys.
Troy,
Yes?
now that we've got the
Formalities.
out of the way, let's get into some news.
Let's get into some news. Okay, so as I did last week, this is how I'm going to do it from now on.
Okay.
I'm just changing things up a bit. Broken it down. I'm going to start with some Marvel news first.
Ooh.
We're going to get into some Marvel news first. And the first part is ABC's Marvel Inhumans series may have already been cancelled before even airing.
Got him!
These nuts. According to Renew Cancel TV, ABC is promoting Inhumans as the complete series rather than a first season, leading many to speculate that it is a one and done. On a scale of 1 to Medusa's hair, how shocked are you right now?
0. I am not surprised by this news at all. Haven't seen a single second of this TV show yet.
Yep.
But from all reports, #fuck a critic, it's genuinely terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. Now, I have heard a couple of other things that say, like, it's actually not too bad and maybe give it a chance. I don't know if they're going to let us give it a chance anymore. So we will see the whole thing. I don't know if there'd be much chance of them turning around and going, oh, we'll do a second season because people actually tuned in and they really liked it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I doubt it. And you know what? I reckon this will be one of the rare occurrences from Marvel where this is actually deleted from canon. From MCEU canon. MCU canon. Yeah.
From the annals of history, it'll be deleted from.
Yep.
Nobody will ever speak about it again.
This will be a one-shot.
Look, I am still interested in seeing it, man. Like, I still want to see it.
Absolutely.
Like, it's more like that kind of, I don't know, there's an actual psychological term for it. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. But it's when you see, like, a car crash or a train wreck and you don't want to look, but you can't help but look, that sort of thing. That's what I want.
Yeah,
me
too.
I want to see it for the train wreck that it is. I want to see how bad
Absolutely.
it's actually going to be.
And, like, I've heard Medusa's hair isn't that bad,
Right.
but they shave it off.
Yeah, so
Like-
her one defining quality
Is gone.
is gone. And Black Bolt doesn't really kind of do much.
Doesn't do much Black Bolton.
Yeah, it doesn't do much black bolting, apparently. But we don't know. Hey, we haven't seen it. We're always proponents of giving it a chance first. So we'll do that.
Yeah.
But then we will wave a hearty wave goodbye as it heads over the horizon.
I really cannot wait to roast that a bit.
Yeah, me too. I'll be honest with you.
The roast of Inhumans brought to you by Comic Confidential.
The sadistic side of me cannot wait. Now, according to Variety, I don't have any good news for Marvel this week, by the way. According to Variety, the Marvel and Netflix series The Defenders is the least watched series in the Marvel Netflix universe so far, with the ensemble series' 30-day viewership totals sitting at 17% of what Daredevil Season 2 achieved in just 2 days. Does that surprise you?
No, not really, because this is an ensemble TV show. So unless you've seen all 4 TV shows, which I guess the general public who aren't super fans like you and I, who will binge that shit like as soon as we can, there's not much point for them to go in there to watch this ensemble movie if they haven't caught up on everything else.
Yeah.
So this will be like a slow, steady burn for this Netflix series, just because they've kind of like shot themselves in the foot in the sense that you do need to watch these other series to understand the premise.
You know what? That might just be the smartest thing you've ever said.
There you go, mate.
That's actually quite good. It makes a lot of sense. I liked it, obviously. Like, we've spoken about it all before. We don't need to speak about it again. It might have suffered a little bit as well from the lukewarm reception of Luke Cage and the shithouse reception of
Iron Fist.
For Iron Fist. But yeah, look, it does make sense that like new viewers it is going to be a bit harder for them to get involved because they didn't exactly, and as they shouldn't have done, they didn't kind of reintroduce the characters or anything like that. So if you are a new viewer, hey, what are you doing starting at the Defenders, by the way? But, if you are, then you're going to be very confused and you're not going to understand what's going on. So you probably are going to switch off.
That's right. And it's not like they can pull the Avengers.
Yeah.
Where, if you weren't such a big comic book fan, you haven't watched all the other, like, Iron Man, Thor's, Captain America's, you could still go into the Avengers and have a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
This is completely different.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think, and we're going to talk about it a bit later, I think the Punisher series is going to turn this around big time. But we will get into that a little bit later. We'll go into some DC news.
Okay.
Now, according to the highly reputable, and I'm using like air quotes here, highly reputable site batmannews.com, a test screening for Justice League was held a couple of nights ago, with first reactions pointing to a likely highly positive response from fans once the movie is released. BatmanNews.com are also reporting that they can confirm there are no longer any scenes involving Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor remaining in the movie, with talk earlier that Joss Whedon had plans to remove the character from the film altogether. So some of these reports, and it is from a handful of people that saw the test screenings. So you can only, as just about every online entertainment website will tell you, take it with a grain of salt, because there isn't that much behind it. But calling it epic and didn't like Suicide Squad or Batman vs Superman, but still love Justice League and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. So I don't know how many people have seen this, but I've seen numbers of 3 to 5 people.
Yeah, well, that's not who's seen it. I think that's just who's they managed to get in contact with.
Yeah, right.
So it is a very, very, very minute percentage of the world's population, but look, it's a good sign nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess.
Yeah.
This is like barely borderline news,
but you've really got to take it for what it is.
Absolutely.
I'm more interested in talking about the removal of Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
I would be disappointed if they did remove him.
Yeah.
Because I think this character has more to offer than what it was just in BVS.
Yeah. It has potential.
Absolutely.
It has potential to hopefully just be the son of actual old man Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But it also, yes, the character needs to grow, I guess.
He needs to mature.
He needs to mature, definitely. Needs to kind of go away from being that sort of spoiled brat, kind of daddy left me kind of kid.
And you know what will do that, Troy? Some time behind bars.
Exactly.
He'll come back out. He'll be jacked.
He'll be jacked as fuck.
He'll be bald as fuck.
That's true.
And he'll be in there thinking the whole time how to make his war suit.
Yeah, well, he's already bald, so he's halfway there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he'll come out with a chip on his shoulder, and I hope we see a completely different version of Lex Luthor by the time he does come. But it does sound like we're not actually going to see him, and that doesn't necessarily matter because he's not going to be a driving sort of force behind.
He's not the
Justice League
antagonist
storyline or anything
like that.
But I guarantee you will see him at some point.
I hope so.
Down the road. We're going to move on to some trailer talk.
Do it.
Are you excited? Now, I'm going to start with the least impressive, and then move into the probably one of the best things we've seen in some time.
Okay.
So Sony Pictures have released a brand new second trailer to the upcoming Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart action-adventure Jumanji reboot. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, set for release in Australia on December the 26th, 2017. What are your thoughts on this, man?
I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you say like this is probably not the favorite, you were definitely speaking for yourself here.
Yeah, right, okay.
This is coming with an absolute triggered warning.
Right.
I think just from these trailers, I'm going to enjoy this more than the original Jumanji movie.
Oh. I can see. I can
feel heads exploding right now.
I can see subscribers dropping. People are burning their phones with their subscriptions to this podcast right now.
But seriously,
how dare you, good sir?
Well, no, how dare you?
Okay.
this movie
Fair point.
this movie looks amazing. It looks fun. It looks hilarious. And you know what? It's different from the original Jumanji movie in every sense.
Yeah.
So there's no comparison.
Look, I do appreciate that. Like, I appreciate the fact that it's different. It's taking a different approach. It's the same premise, but, you know, it's not using the board game and all that sort of stuff. It's brought it into 2017, which I think is great. I said to you before we started the podcast that I actually really enjoyed this a lot more than I did the first trailer.
Yeah.
So I hold much higher hopes now. And if you haven't checked it out, go and check it out. I'll probably put it up on the page or something.
Somewhere.
I might do something on the Facebook page or something like that. But yeah, check it out. Like, it does look like it's a lot of fun. This might be...
Say it.
As much as it pains me to say, this might actually be a really good like Rock and Kevin Hart movie.
Oh, doesn't that just make you want to die a little bit?
No, I did die a little bit saying it. Yeah, but it does have. Hey, it's got Karen Gillan in it, and it's also got Jack Black, so that helps. And Nick Jonas. I think it's Nick Jonas. It's one of the Jonas brothers. Pretty sure it's Nick. So that's cool too, right? If you like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it looks fun.
Looks great.
It's doing its job, that's for sure. And, you know, I like the fact that they've also thrown in that because it's a video game, they each have 3 lives. And I think I can't remember who I read said it, but one of them said they wanted to go really extravagant with the deaths. So there will be deaths, which is good. So, you know, they are obviously going to all get down to their last life and have to, you know, fight for survival and all that sort of thing. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they do that, even though we've already seen, you know, Kevin Hart goes by eating some cake. Just explodes.
Cool.
Which I think is cool. Second one, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So Warner Brothers have officially released the action-packed first full trailer for Tomb Raider, the reboot to the 2001 Angelina Jolie vehicle, which stars Academy Award-winning actress Alicia Vikander as the titular character, and is set for a March 15th, 2018 release date. Now, I'm sensing some sort of non-excitement from you, sir.
Not at all.
Really?
Yeah. When I first saw the trailer, I watched it without sound.
Right.
And then early, like, have you watched the trailer? So you made me watch it with sound, and it didn't even hook me anymore.
Really?
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. The whole Tomb Raider thing isn't for me.
Really?
I didn't enjoy the first 2 movies.
I'm just going to keep saying really.
Yeah, you can. And the games, they're not for me. It's not my thing.
Yeah, okay.
So I have like literally 0 interest in this movie, which could only be a good thing going into it if I enjoy it.
Okay. Well, you know, I mean, that's fair, because I think, you know, we had this conversation once upon a time. Might have been on the show. I'm pretty sure it was on the show. I think your favorite movie genre is like horror, right? Is that right? Whereas mine is action-adventure. So this kind of speaks more to me than it will to you. And I've never really been a fan of the games or anything like that, but I really do love this kind of, you know, sort of like adventuristic, is that a word? You know, that kind of really sort of modern-day Indiana Jones-ish, if I dare, kind of take on this sort of thing. It's like, you know, Temple of Doom all over again, which I think is really cool. And I also like the fact that they've kind of, you know, they've updated the Lara Croft as well. So they've made her younger, they've made her more athletic, they've taken away the cartoonish boobs and, you know, all that sort of stuff. Yes, I said I'm excited about the fact they took away the cartoonish boobs, okay? You don't need to call me out on that one.
Wow.
Not everyone needs cartoonish boobs in every goddamn movie. You know, although I wouldn't say no if someone was going to do it.
Fair enough. I noticed there was a lot of jumping in this trailer.
There's a lot of jumping.
Like,
that's the X button.
Is it? Yeah, it seems like there was too much jumping.
I noticed that there was
there was at least 3 to 4 like leaps.
Yeah, there were a lot of leaps. There were 3 falls into water.
Yeah.
So that's obviously going to play a big part. Interesting fact, right? I don't know if this is interesting at all, but I'm going to throw it out there. Alicia Vikander, Academy Award-winning actress, is engaged or married, one of the two, pretty sure it's engaged, to Michael Fassbender, who just did Assassin's Creed, as we know. So, you know, now she's having her opportunity to hopefully kind of jump into the video game movie foray in a much more successful fashion than her fiance.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we'll see, because this could realistically be, everyone thought Assassin's Creed might be the one that did it, but it hasn't
Hell
yet.
no.
It did not. So this could be the movie that is the first sort of like great video game movie.
Mm.
And we've got an Academy Award-winning actress doing it, man. I love Alicia Vikander. I think she fits the role perfectly. She looks jacked as fuck for this role, so I'm keen. Don't look at me with disdain in
Makes
your eyes.
one of us, mate.
Whatever. All right, something we are both keen for is the fact that Marvel and Netflix have dropped the first official trailer for its upcoming series, The Punisher. Wow.
What else can you really say about this trailer?
Other than the fact that there is still no goddamn official release date other than 2017, and that is really starting to fucking bug me.
The first time I saw this, I thought I just missed it.
Yeah.
And we watched it just before recording here, and I that's the one thing I wanted to look for. I didn't miss it. They were fucking with me.
Yeah. So I get what they're doing. Like, I get what they're doing with the whole CIA kind of like redacted files type of thing. And I understand that like they're trying to keep that secrecy because it's cool and no one knows when it's coming. So they could like drop it at any time realistically.
Imagine if they've dropped it right now.
Yeah, like you don't know. It could be happening right this very second. You could go to Netflix and all of a sudden up there in suggestions is the Punisher series. Like, imagine that. That'd be so good. Most people are thinking that it's going to actually either be early October, because of New York Comic Con, which they actually have a panel at.
Oh.
Or it's going to be mid-November to kind of steer clear of Stranger Things 2 and Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So they're the two rough dates, either first week of October or roughly the second week of November.
If it's the second week of November, won't they be going up against Justice League?
Potentially, but maybe that's what they'll want to do,
Maybe.
Like, they'll like, okay, well, you're going to throw that out there. We'll throw our thing out there as well, kind of like what Marvel does all the time.
Every time,
Warner Brothers or the DCEU has a bit of a win, they go and like throw something out there to say, hey, don't forget, we're also doing super fucking cool stuff. Now, this trailer was fucking dope.
This was amazing. And the thing that really topped this trailer off was the use of the sound effects along with the music.
Look, this is one thing that I'm kind of thinking that everybody is going to start to do now.
Yeah.
Because Edgar Wright did it in Baby Driver.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. And he's kind of known for that sort of thing anyway, but he did it like amazingly in Baby Driver. And there is one particular scene kind of towards the end, which I won't really get into for spoilers for Baby Driver, but it's a shootout. And the gunfire fits perfectly with the beat of the music. And all that sort of stuff. So, it's not exactly like they came up with this thing. I think this is going to be one of those things where everyone's like, Baby Driver was cool. Let's go fucking do that.
You reckon this could be the new Bois noise?
Yeah, maybe. Because I think even in the Jumanji trailer, they did it a little bit as well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So
it's definitely a trend now.
Yeah, so I think Edgar Wright has started something, which I think he'll be cool with. I don't think he'd be overly concerned. But I did like it. I thought that was amazing. And like in the song that they use, which is One by Metallica, the initial idea of the drums was to sound like gunfire. So because the whole song is about war and all that sort of thing. So the initial sort of like the drum kicks and all that sort of stuff was to sound like gunfire.
And the helicopter at the start of that song is supposed to be a helicopter?
What?
Insane! Bonus fact!
Bonus fact. If that doesn't get you hard, nothing will.
Nothing will. This trailer is great.
John Bernthal looks absolutely fucking amazing.
I just wish he was a little bit more jacked. He's still... He's too slim.
We haven't even really seen him.
There was a shirtless scene.
Oh, there was a shirtless scene. Yeah, you're right.
He's very slim.
Well, he's like lean.
No, he's slim.
No,
he's got skinny abs.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, this guy, he is, kind of like killing machine slim. You know what I mean? You can't be fat like us two, like trying to run around all day killing people because you will get puffed and you'll want to eat something. Whereas he's kind of like, he's that real sort of like sleek, stealthy, killing machine, svelte, runway model / ninja assassin. I don't fucking.
I feel like he's
anymore.
Barely more jacked than Iron Fist.
Don't even fucking get me started. I think physically he looks great. Personally, that's me. I think he's going to bring that kind of that pain and that anguish and that rage across really well. He did that in the first couple of seasons of The Walking Dead perfectly. So I can't be more pumped. We get to see Micro in this as well.
But you're missing the main person that we saw in this trailer, Troy.
Oh, Karen Page.
Karen Page has returned after leaving Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, in...
Well,
if you have not seen Defenders
by now,
check yourself.
Okay, that's fair.
Karen Page leaves Matt Murdock because, he's become the devil again.
Yeah.
And then she's going straight to this murderous motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, Karen Page, you need to get your priorities right. You're like one of these like crazy girls that say they want one thing but have another.
Matt Murdock doesn't kill a single person. He just kind of beats them up and makes them rethink their ways. The Punisher doesn't give him a chance. He just straight out murders folk in the hundreds to thousands. But Karen Page seems like she might be cool with that.
Yeah.
She's like hanging out with him. That's fine. Karen Page is the new Rosario Dawson. I'm going to assume that she's going to take that mantle and she's going to be the one that's going to jump between seasons now. I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying.
Neither do I.
Anyway, whenever it comes out, it's coming out at some point. It's going to be absolutely fucking amazing. Let's move on. I got a couple of other little things we can talk about. Actually, you know what? I've got one more thing.
One more.
We're going to talk about one more. And that's the fact that James Cameron has revealed that Linda Hamilton will indeed be reprising her iconic role of Sarah Connor in the 6th installment of the Terminator series, set to be directed by Tim Miller. And the new movie will be a direct sequel to T2, while also paving the way for a new trilogy with new characters and younger actors, because everyone in this movie is going to be 100. 100.
100 minimum.
Minimum.
What's she going to be doing? Is she going to be rolling around in a mobility scooter?
Look, she would only be in her probably mid to late 50s, I would say.
But she looked like she had a hard life.
She did look like she
in
had a hard
T2
life.
and definitely T1.
But that's true, and it's not like it got any better for her.
Exactly.
After that. Yeah, that's true. I'm waiting for Edward Furlong to get his call. Like, when's that kid coming back?
Isn't he in jail?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, Edward Furlong.
And he got, real fat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to see. Older, fat Edward Furlong in the Terminator 6 movie riding on the front of a bike again with old man Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that would be amazing.
And I want him to still have that real squeaky voice.
Yeah. And that same emo haircut.
Oh, yes,
that he
please.
had. Yeah,
you know what? That's probably back in fashion now.
It probably is. Look, am I excited because Linda Hamilton is coming back? A little bit more.
I'm getting more excited, and it makes me I really hope they just kind of, I guess, take those other movies out of canon.
Yeah.
And say, this is actually what happened. Those are alternative timelines.
Yeah, look, I haven't seen, I honestly haven't seen Terminator Genesis yet. And I never will.
Me either.
Well, that's not true. I am going to watch it at some point because I do love Emilia Clarke. I'll watch her in anything she's in, even those romantic love movies with
The Terminator.
Yeah, with Sam Coughlin. I can't even remember what the name of the movie is, but it looks really lovey, and I think someone dies. But I will I will watch it because I love Emilia Clarke. But yeah, apparently it's shit. And as having seen everything else after T2 as well, nothing really holds up.
No.
So hopefully they can get it back on track. I think Tim Miller is definitely the man to do that after the success he's had with Deadpool anyway, as long as he has that kind of freedom and that creativity. But I don't know if James Cameron will necessarily let him have that, because I think James Cameron definitely has a vision.
James Cameron honestly needs to put that shit on lockdown.
Yeah.
And say, make it this way.
Well, do you think though, or do you would you kind of...
James Cameron let the slack go with all these other ones. He needs to needs to direct
James Cameron made motherfucking Titanic. So don't talk to me about James Cameron.
Hey, that's the most successful movie of all time, Troy.
No, it's not.
One of the most.
It's up there though. It's number 2, I believe, behind his other movie Avatar, which is also a piece of shit. Yeah, I said it. Avatar's a piece of shit, even though there's 7 more of those.
You
goddamn
take that
movies
back
coming.
about Ferngully.
Hey, man, you spoke bad about Robin Williams basically before, so if you can speak bad about Robin Williams, I can speak bad about James Cameron and goddamn Ferngully. So last week we decided that we were going to discuss some of the greatest animated superhero movies to date, and this week, however, we may have bitten off a little more than we can chew.
I think so.
I do as well, because we've decided to try to find out what the greatest animated series of all time might be, not just in the superhero realm, Cade, everything.
Everything.
Absolutely everything. So we have absolutely no idea what we're getting into. We're going to discuss everything from He-Man to Futurama to the OG Transformers and South Park and everything else we have time to break down in between. God damn it. Do you know how hard it was creating a list of best animated series of all time and trying to keep it within a relatively manageable level?
Yeah. This list could have blown out to 150 TV shows easily.
Oh, we could be sitting here and talking about this for hours, but we have roughly between 20 to 25, potentially 30 minutes to do this.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to try to accomplish. What one do you want to talk about first, man? What's one of your favorites of all time?
One of my favorites, and this is probably one of the earliest cartoons that I ever remember watching.
Yep.
And that's the OG Transformers.
Nice. It is, and it led into the original Transformers movie as well.
Absolutely.
Which is one of the most heartbreaking, tear-jerking, dust in your eyes inducing movies of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I refuse to go back and watch that movie.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I don't want to be a grown-ass man
crying at
in
a
public.
30-year-old cartoon.
Yeah. My name is not Kevin Smith. Even though, that would be cool if it was. Whatever. I don't even care.
Yeah, whatever.
Transformers is great, man.
It had one of the most iconic, I guess, theme songs of its time.
Yeah. Do you remember it?
Yes.
Okay, go.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm not singing it.
That is fucking terrible.
You're terrible, mate. But it was just one of those things. You heard it. You knew what was going on. You're like, no fucking around, Mum. It's Transformers time.
Yeah. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. And the goddamn toys that came out from that goddamn series, holy shit.
Mate, I'm surprised. They probably did back in the day. Cost hundreds of dollars, I reckon.
Oh, man. I remember going to one of my friends' houses when I was a child. And they had the original Optimus Prime. Everything.
Wow.
The truck and all that. It was I was so jealous because I thought this guy was the richest dude on the planet because normal people can't afford those things.
Yeah.
But it was so amazing, and I played with it. We had it out of the pack. He's fucked his life now. 30 years ago, if he had a thought about keeping it in the goddamn
He's probably
packet,
offed himself now at the thought of it.
Yeah, it's why did I let that stupid Troy kid play with my goddamn Optimus Prime and take it out of the packaging?
Look, I remember when I was a kid, if you either had the Power Rangers Dinobots that transformed, you're the fucking coolest kid around.
Yep.
Or if you had any Transformer toy, you rule the playground.
Fuck yeah, man. That was, and the Soundwave one that actually folded back into a cassette, and then they had the little cassette I can't even remember, unfortunately, what are they called? Do you know what his little things? There was the bird one. The internet's going to fucking kill me.
Yeah,
for
it's
this.
going to kill you.
But you know what I mean. There's the cheetah one, goddammit, and then there's the bird one, and then they fold into, and they're actual tapes, and then the tapes fit in to Soundwave's cassette thing.
Ridiculous.
You don't get toys like that anymore.
Exactly.
They don't make them like that. We're not even talking about toys, goddammit, but this is kind of what it inspired.
Exactly.
And it all started from this fantastic series.
What about you? What's your pick, Troy?
My first pick is going to be He-Man.
Oh!
Yeah, He-Man and Masters of the Universe. So it only ran for a couple of years. I think 83 to 85.
Yeah, but forever lives on in memes.
It does, but they actually brought it back quite a few years ago to kind of for the modern children. But it's not as cool. It's not as cool as He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And again, this leads into toys because the toys for this thing were fucking amazing.
Troy, I've just realized we're 2 TV shows in.
Yes.
These animated shows aren't about anything but marketing toys to us.
Hey, look, if we're still talking about this thing 30 years later...
It's worked.
It's worked. God damn it. So let them have it because they've done their job pretty well. But I remember I had the Castle Grayskull play set
Yeah,
was
right.
fucking amazing. But yeah, like all of it, He-Man, Battle Cat, the whole thing. One of the coolest things that I remember about He-Man, Masters of the Universe, is kind of like every episode ended with like a kind of like a bit of an after school special kind of thing. So it might be like Prince Adam and Teela like walking through like a garden and basically telling you to not smoke crack because, you know, it's bad.
Yeah.
And stay in school.
Wow, can you imagine what those messages would be today?
Yeah.
Be like, don't get pregnant.
Yeah. Don't get pregnant at 12. Stay off the internet. Things like that. I also remember, I don't know why this is so vivid in my mind, but it's like that kind of like, because this is from the 80s, so it's that kind of animation. And there was the one scene in particular for whatever reason sticks in my head, and it's of He-Man, and he's battling Skeletor, I think, and he's in this kind of like cave, and there's lava like running through the cave.
Yeah.
And he needs to get from point A to point B. So he rips off a stalactite from the ceiling.
The cave roof, yeah.
Yeah, from the cave roof. And it's about the size of a kind of like a generous club.
Yeah.
Like a generous club size. He then uses that to pole vault. Because amazingly, it's just the size of something that you can pole vault with to get him to point B. And that is just the beauty of 80s cartoons.
Absolutely.
Because you could just fucking do that, and kids don't know because kids are stupid. But I figured it out in my old
40
age.
years later.
All right, what's next for you?
Okay, next one for me is actually, it's a Disney cartoon. Shock horror. I think this might actually be one of the only Disney cartoons on this list.
Scandal.
And that's Gargoyles.
Oh, yeah.
Gargoyles, man. Absolutely. This could have been an M-rated cartoon.
Yeah, it was pretty dark.
It was very dark. And like for Disney, back in, what year was this?
94 to 96 this ran.
What a short series. But holy, did it stick around in pop culture?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. I don't remember it like that well. I don't think it was one of necessarily like one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, right.
But I remember fondly. And, you know, was it like at night? No, at like during the day in dawn, they
Yes.
go back in their things
Yeah,
and they turn
and
to
they
stone.
turn back to stone, yeah.
And then at night they come out and they fight fucking crime like gargoyles do. Is it crime?
I presume so. Every cartoon was about fighting crime.
Yeah, it might just be supernatural crime.
Yeah.
But it's crime, because crime don't pay kids. It's a He-Man after school special.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, gargoyles, man, that was the shit. You know what else was the shit?
What?
Fucking Thundercats.
Oh.
Thundercats are hoes.
A hose, yeah, because that cartoon was way too sexy.
Oh, it was way too sexy. And like weird sexy
Yeah.
because they're half animal,
Half animals.
half sexy humans.
Yeah. That's like the main thing that I do take from this TV show.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was very sexualized.
Yeah.
But not meaning to be.
Yeah, probably. But
Or knowing the era it was.
well, this
and
is
it's just like a wink to perverts.
Well, this is 85 to 89, so you can pretty much guarantee someone was on coke, and they're like,
Yeah.
let's fucking get a human and a fucking lion, and we'll put them together, and we'll put them in skimpy outfits, and it's like...
He's running around in a thong all day.
He's got a thong on, and she's got big old titties, and she's like looks like a cheetah, and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They probably did exactly that. But I really like this, man. This was one of my favorites growing up. I really wanted to be... I didn't want to be Lion-O. I didn't want to be the main dude.
Oh.
I wanted to be the weird, bald panther guy, Panthera. I thought he was fucking dope.
Yeah, right.
That was my favorite for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, probably says a lot about me.
I think it does.
But
I think
Thundercats,
if
man.
anyone who grew up watching Thundercats has a lot to explain.
Yeah. Look, it is. The more you think about it, the weirder it actually is. And I think they actually... there was talk of a live-action movie of this as well.
Yeah.
I think The Rock was attached, but I could also be thinking that because The Rock is kind of attached to every fucking movie ever.
Yeah.
But I swear that dude was attached to be like Panthera or something.
Yeah, I swear I saw like him do an SNL skit or a Funny or Die skit where he was like dressed up as one of them.
Maybe. That might have actually happened. I'm going to look that up after we do this. Hey. Thundercats.
Thundercats.
What do you-
go.
Yeah, they are.
I am going to go with the old Screamo favorite,
Yeah.
and that is a Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
Bridging countries, Troy.
Bridging countries, bridging cultures, bridging generations. This show ran from 1996 to 2003. Because I'm talking about the goddamn Dragon Ball Z version, not Dragon Ball.
No one likes that shit.
Or not like the newer stuff like Dragon Ball Next Gen.
Or that Dragon Ball GT that was shit.
I think that's what I was talking about. Like that sort of thing. This is the OG. This is fucking Kakarot. This is Vegeta. This is Piccolo. All of them. Krillin. Gohan. I can keep going.
You just keep going. Just like name off all the cast members.
All of them. Bulma. Now, anyway, look, Master Roshi. But this was amazing. And to the point now that people are still like running around screaming like...
Mate, there's events going around like the world of screaming like Goku.
Can I just say that is some of the weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I almost thought that we should host one of those here in
Oh
Cairns.
my fucking God, no. That is
I
not
know
gonna
you'd
happen.
love it, Troy.
No.
Yeah.
As much. Look, I remember the first time I saw Goku go Super Saiyan.
Troy?
Super Saiyan level 1.
Yeah.
None of this Super Saiyan God level or whatever it is up to now. Like, I can't even keep up. But I remember when he first turned Super Saiyan, it took like 17 episodes for it to happen.
Screaming.
But it was fucking amazing. It was literally one of those like, holy shit, this is fucking the dopest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I was a bit older at this time. This is 96.
How old would you have been? Like
100.
100.
At least 120 years
I was going to
old.
say, because like, I reckon you would have been one of those kids who tried to scream and turn into like Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
You
Probably
did.
back then.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it as a fucking fully grown adult. Yeah, like I loved it. Vegeta was actually my favorite, man. And once that guy kind of...
You have this like real underdog thing, don't you?
I do. And it's, once he turned good, we're going to say good.
Well, he went like bad, good. Then he went to bad again with the Majin
Majin
Buu. And then he went good again. The guy's just too power hungry, mate.
He is.
I can't get on that level of 9,000.
Well, that's true. I mean, you can go and do as much like, level 10 gravity push-ups and shit that you want to do, but, you're just never going to get there. But, this is the best thing. The best thing about Dragon Ball Z is that it got a lot of people out there and they wanted to, like, exercise. They want to be like Goku. They wanted to, like, fight and eat and sleep.
I did all the eating part. I did none of the exercise and all the fighting.
Yeah, I did a couple of those things.
Yeah.
And I would say that Dragon Ball Z was a big part of why.
Yeah, right.
So that's pretty cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's amazing how these little TV shows can really shape somebody's future.
That's true. Now, to me, are we back to me?
Well, back to you.
Okay. How could we not talk about this one? Now, how we're actually going to do this, because we didn't talk about this, but we're going to save our personal favorites for last, right? So, you'll hear what we both would believe would be the best animated series of all time last. And we'll put a massive trigger warning on it because, it is one of those things that's very, very subjective. And some people, you might get upset at our choices, but that's fine.
Because you have your own choice.
One thing I am going to talk about that a lot of people might think might be the front runner or the favorite, The Simpsons.
Oh.
How can you not talk about The Simpsons when you're talking about best animated series of all time?
Of all time. Definitely, if this isn't in your top 3.
Well, this show basically covers all time.
Absolutely.
Because it started in 1989 and it is still going today.
That's insane.
Some would say to its detriment, though.
Possibly, because I remember I was a massive, and I mean massive Simpsons fan. I'd watch it every night, every week when the new episodes were coming out.
100%.
I swear I've seen like the first 10 seasons 100 times each.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like right after like they hit this major milestone of like 300 episodes or something.
Yeah.
And they had like this big like TV event about it. I felt like it changed after that. Especially after the Simpsons movie came out.
Yeah, see, that's when I would say that it probably changed. After the Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
Originally when Matt Groening was doing this, well, not originally, like after a bit of time, I think they had done like, a couple of hundred episodes maybe. He said he wanted to have 365 episodes of The Simpsons.
So one for every day.
One for every day of the year. They have well surpassed that.
Yeah.
And they probably should have stopped there. And that's probably the reason why it doesn't get the top spot in my mind, is that they didn't know when to quit. And because of that, it has suffered, and it is a pale comparison of the show it used to be.
Yeah.
Which is the problem. But this is honestly, like, it gave us characters like Bart, Lisa, Marge, Maggie, and of course fucking Homer, who, is probably one of the most quotable animated characters of all time.
Absolutely. And they're the most recognized family in the world.
Yeah. And if we were doing like favorite, like single characters from animated shows, Homer would be up there for sure.
Absolutely.
But this show, it's like won all sorts of friggin' awards. It is the longest running, not only animated show, but the longest running TV show of all time.
There you go.
At, what are we, 27, 28 years?
An infinite amount of celebrity guests.
Oh, like that's the kind of pulling power that something like The Simpsons has.
Yeah.
The star power that it can attract, with people lining up to say, I want to be on The Simpsons. These are grown-ass adults, multi-millionaire friggin' actors, musicians, all that sort of stuff. Presidents who are lining up to say, hey, get me on your show.
Insane.
I want to be on it. They have the power to turn down current presidents and say, no, you are not going to be on our show, sir. Which is just fucking incredible.
Imagine that power. A TV show having that power. Amazing.
Yeah.
Almost nuclear.
Almost. Yeah, so, it's great. Ned Flanders is one of the best characters on TV ever.
Nothing at all.
No, stupid, sexy Flanders. All right, so that's probably enough about The Simpsons. We could literally host an entire podcast about the goddamn show.
We should.
Maybe.
Let's do an episode on The Simpsons.
Okay, we'll do a favorite Simpsons episodes or something like that later on down the track. You have to pay tribute to the OG.
Indeed. Now, the next one I'm gonna talk about actually is like, it lends very much off The Simpsons, and that's Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
To the point that they actually had a crossover episode.
Yeah.
Which is super amazing.
Well, because it's even more amazing because there was such a rivalry between the two, like initially.
Exactly.
Like I think, like even so far as it was personal between Matt Groening and Seth MacFarlane.
Was it really?
Yeah. So, and it was like, oh, we'll never be on that Crash show and all that sort of stuff. That was Matt Groening, not Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Obviously. But Family Guy, man, that's like, even Family Guy has been going for like 19 years.
That's ridiculous. And I kind of dropped off Family Guy at season 10. And like, to say I watched 10 seasons of a show is like quite incredible.
Yeah.
And to say that it's probably still going on, into 16, 17?
Oh, it'd be, I think it's upwards of 20. I don't have it in front of me.
That's insane. That's an incredible amount for like a TV show like this. And, it goes hand in hand with The Simpsons, They kind of really shaped, a TV generation.
Yeah.
But this was just a little bit more mature.
Yeah, it's like, it basically kind of like really kicked off that trend of cutaway scenes in a thing, which was brilliant for a time. But I think eventually got
It got old real quick.
Yeah, it did. It got a little bit old. They're actually sitting at they have 298 episodes and 16 seasons.
Wow, there you go.
So that's impressive. They're about to hit that 300 episode milestone. Like, this is a show that has been going on for so long.
Well, not only that, like, you also have to think this show created 2 spin-offs.
Yeah.
It created the Cleveland Show.
Yep.
And it also created American Dad.
Yeah. Which is a pretty fantastic show in its own right. I believe it's still going. One of those shows I did drop off as well, unfortunately, after about the 5th season or something like that.
Because it all kind of has the same kind of humor, goes hand in hand very much so.
Yeah, very much. Stewie Griffin would also be up there as one of my favorite animated characters of all time as well.
Easy.
Even evil Stewie compared to, is he gay Stewie? You know what I mean? Like,
that's the beauty of that character.
Yeah. They kind of flipped it completely, and people didn't even really care.
No.
And it made the character stronger for what it was, because there's only so far you can take it when he's trying to take over the world and he's trying to, like, all that sort of stuff.
Or trying to kill his mum.
Or trying to kill his mum and
Yeah.
like all that sort of stuff. So, they had to do something with it, and they really opened up the character by flipping that, which I think was an amazing thing to do. And to throw a talking dog in there as well, like, why not? So Family Guy, yeah, look, that is in its time, in its day for me. So that would be for me also within the first 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Was incredibly hilarious. Like I can't even it was amazing.
There's not many shows that you like wait week to week to watch.
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
It was fresh.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Like we had The Simpsons for so long already. And it's kind of like, hey, this is something like this is a grown up version of The Simpsons, and I'm a fucking grown up. And now I can watch this, and it's swearing and shit, and it's violent. It's great. I love it. That was you, right?
That was me, mate.
All right. Now, where am I going to go? I'm going to go into outer space.
Ooh.
And I'm going to talk about the cousin of The Simpsons, the sister show, if you will, Futurama.
Oh.
Now, this could very well have been both of our favorites.
Absolutely. And I think that's the reason that we didn't choose it is because it could have been both our favorites.
Yeah. So this ran from 1999 to 2013.
Cancelled twice.
Cancelled twice, brought back through a rabid fan base. And now this is a show that was like, this is kind of like, it was The Simpsons, but it was everything that The Simpsons couldn't do because it was in space. Well, it wasn't in space, but you know what I mean. It was in the future, and they could basically go anywhere.
Yeah.
And do anything and have all kinds of crazy adventures.
And there's a thing about Futurama that separates it from The Simpsons, and I explained this. We had a work experience kid at work this week.
Yeah.
And I told him about this episode, and he was like, oh, yeah, these are the greatest shows, blah, 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 blah. I was like, no, mate, Futurama is right up there. And sit down and let me explain to you why.
Let me sing you a song of my people.
And it's because he is probably too young to appreciate what Futurama was.
Yeah.
Futurama was that Simpsons cartoon for the oldest generation that wasn't crude.
Yeah.
It could tell these stories that were a little bit deeper.
Yep.
Had a little bit more to think about.
Yeah.
Had underlying tones nearly everywhere. And just didn't really cater to those younger people.
Yeah, that's fair. And it really is like it has some consistent laugh out loud moments.
Yeah.
The writing on that show is absolutely incredible. And to the point that, there is there? Who knows? Could there be a podcast in the future? Who knows?
Some would say yes.
But like this is the kind of thing. Like this is like our love for the show goes deeper than being able to give it like a couple of minutes of time.
Yeah.
Because we are looking to dedicate an entire podcast to it. It's just about finding the time. Because you have to give it the time it deserves. Because this thing is fucking like brilliant. Jurassic Bark to this day.
Oh,
if you're listening and you know what Jurassic Bark is,
you're
probably tearing up already.
Yes.
Because that was legitimately some of the saddest shit I've seen as an adult in my life.
I just got fucking goosebumps thinking of it, Troy.
You've got Philip J. Fry and Professor Farnsworth as two of the funniest characters that you're likely to see on TV. Fry, because he's kind of like just... He's a fish out of water, but he's also kind of...
He's the underdog of the future.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got, Farnsworth, obviously, because of his crazy outbursts and things like that. But this show holds a very dear place in my heart and only misses out on winning because of the fact that we both probably would have chosen it. And I think everybody knows that we really like this show as well.
Yeah.
So that's me. Where are you up to?
Oh, okay.
I think we'll do this last one, and then we'll talk about our favorites. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we up to there?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds good. It's not on our list.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm going off script.
Okay, throwing a curveball.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, that was an oversight by me.
Yeah.
Well done. Because that should definitely be on there.
Yeah. This was fantastic. This is what invented toys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like. Absolutely, 100%.
You're talking about the original series.
The original series.
Yep.
And April amazing. I think that's why I have this infatuation with redheads these days, Troy.
Yeah.
That's where
Because
it all
of April
started.
O'Neil. That's fair.
And yellow jackets.
Yeah. Look, it's just redheads in weirdly, unnecessarily yellow rain jackets. Yeah. Look, obviously, like, for me personally, it's the movies. For
Is
me,
it really?
That stand out more.
Yep.
Probably the first one, definitely. 2, yes. 3, no.
3 is when they went, no hitting.
Yeah, basically. Turtles in Time was just a heap of shit.
More like Turtles in Crime. Because it's a shit movie. It's a cinema sin.
Okay, I'll give you that. It took you a bit to get there, but
We got there.
I'll give it to you. But yeah, so for me, it's more the movies.
Yeah.
So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie holds a very special place in my heart. I absolutely fucking love it, and still do to this day. I've watched it this year, so don't act like it's just one of those things that I don't remember, because I have seen it and I fucking love it, and I love it better than that shit that's come out, recently. The new stuff, whatever they want to call that. But yeah, the series was great, man. The series was great. It was just like, it was fun. It was bright. You had ninjas. You had like skateboarding.
You had a actually kick-ass shredder.
Yeah,
Who was like
that is true.
The most intimidating thing that I ever saw on TV when I was a child.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is what made me like want to start eating pizza. I was like, Mum, let's get pizza.
Yeah, that's actually probably pretty fair. We have our obesity to blame on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And you know what? It's crazy to think that this came from a really dark comic book.
Yeah, true. And as we've discussed before, a parody of Daredevil.
Yeah.
But this is what it spawned. This like stuff that we are still talking about today, and stuff that is still being remade and rebooted today for today's generation, and they still fucking love it. We're going to be eating up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for generations to come.
Decades, mate.
Okay, now, are we doing favorites?
Let's go.
Okay,
Favorites.
I did have one more, because it's one of those things. I got to talk about it because it's not going to be my favorite.
Okay.
But it's got to get more than just an honorable mention. Okay. X-Men the Animated Series.
Oh!
I was gonna have it as number one, but it's been pipped by something that's probably going to make people mad. I don't know. Whatever. But this is your ringtone. This is
This is my life tone.
The theme song for this is the theme song to our lives.
I want this to be my death tone. I'm hooked up to a heart rate machine, and when I'm gone, it's just gonna be na 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 na.
I want you to throw this in there somewhere. Throw the theme in there somewhere in the show. I don't know where. I know we've already done it before in a show when we were talking about this or something. I can't remember what we're talking about. But I need you. The people need you to throw this theme back in there.
You know
Even
what?
if it's just like a 30-second sample or something.
It could be like the after credits bit that we do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Do that. Because, this is the show that kind of really got me into comic books and where I am today.
Absolutely.
Now, this ran from 1992 to 1997. Should still be running today.
Imagine if it was, Troy.
You can watch the entire goddamn thing on YouTube. If you can't find it anywhere else, some beautiful soul, if I find you, I'll marry you, has put it all up on YouTube to watch. I've started to rewatch it. It's fucking amazing still. It holds up.
Of course it does.
100% it holds up. I don't care what anybody says.
Legitimately comic books coming to life.
Yeah, 100%. It's everything. Like I said, this is the thing that got me into comic books. So I have this series to thank, and it's the reason why X-Men was one of the first things I picked up, and still continues to be a favorite of mine today. All these years later, I also got trading cards because of it.
There you go.
Which I still have. 1994, 95 Fleer Ultra X-Men. Full set.
Full set.
Full set.
Mate, if you put that
Hit
on
me
eBay,
up, nerds.
they'll be worth at least $20.
Hey, there are some cards in there that are worth $20. So.
Wow.
Actually, there's one card, I haven't looked in ages. I think the most expensive card I have at the moment is $80.
Wow.
Yeah.
Genuinely surprised.
Yeah. So, fuck you.
Yeah.
That is my prized possession. All right, Cade, we're doing favorites. This is it. We're going to wrap it up. What is your personal, I'm throwing that out there, what is your personal favorite animated series of all time?
You're asking me what the internet's favorite animated TV show is?
Yep.
And I've got the answer, mate.
What is it?
It's Archer.
Oh, shit.
Mate, what a great TV show. A super unique animation style.
Yeah.
It's almost like comic books brought to life a little bit.
Yeah.
It's really fluid. It's beautiful. The way it's written, absolutely great comedy writing.
Oh, the writing is fucking stellar.
Absolutely. And the voice performances are even better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that like they're talking about doing a live action movie as well, which I think would be hard. And like that's the thing when you have such an iconic voice as Archer,
who does not look anything like what the character does.
Yeah, this is look him up. His name's H. John Benjamin. He is an actor. He's been in quite a few things as well as this, but he does the voice for it. Yes, definitely not the guy you'd have as your leading man, kind of James Bond-esque type dude. But yeah, look, they were eyeing. They've pretty much said that if we're going to do this, the only way we're going to do it is with John Hamm as the lead.
Absolutely.
Which works, but you just don't get that voice.
Yeah. He would have to be dubbed.
Yeah, or I don't know if you could do that either, but like I think John Hamm could do it. But yeah, you're right. This series is great.
If you've ever watched Mad Men, that's essentially what that show is.
Yeah, it's like it's James Bond meets Mad Men meets I don't know, crazy like violence, drugs, swearing, phrasing,
sexiness
all over the place. Yeah, it's pretty great, man.
It's just quality writing all throughout, and there's never a dull moment.
Yeah,
in any of the series, any of the episodes, it just stays strong all the way through.
It is true. It is highly bingeable. And it is on Netflix right now, pretty much the whole thing, I think, except for maybe the latest series.
Yeah.
So you can get in there and you can binge watch the shit out of this show. Because once you get started, you will not want to stop if you're not already watching it. And if you're not already watching it, what the hell are you doing?
Exactly.
I am one of these people that admittedly got onto it late. So there were already probably 5 seasons out by the time I got into Archer.
You lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to be able to basically binge the entire thing. Now I think I've only got the last 2 seasons to go.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite there. From everything I've heard, though, it doesn't dip in quality.
No, not at all. If you haven't watched the show, do yourself an absolute favor. Take it as a personal recommendation from Cade at Comic Confidential.
Whatever that means.
This has got a CC stamp of approval.
It does. Will mine? Time will tell. Look, now the only reason I say that like this might be a little bit triggerish or anything like that is because it's the newest entry on the list. But it is something that I have very quickly fallen in love with, if you will.
I feel like this is your summer fling.
It could be. It could just be my summer fling. It could be there could be definitely be a recency factor. But I genuinely think that Rick and Morty is probably the smartest, funniest, creative thing that you're likely to see on TV right now and have done for some time. Like, a lot of the other stuff we've been talking about is very much a nostalgia thing, with the exception of probably Futurama, and, you know, maybe X-Men the Animated Series and stuff like that, but everything else, it's kind of like it's either been going on for way too long and it's dropped off, or it's kind of, you know, it's just because of its time is why I loved it.
Yeah. I'll give you the credit that like Rick and Morty can be a good show. I think though, it will be one of those things that it'll leave as quick as it's come.
I don't think so.
And I think it'll only be a good thing for that show though.
Well, look, this is what I think will happen. Like, we've got 3 seasons, and it took us quite a bit of time to get that 3rd season.
Yeah.
Not because like they were deciding whether they were going to give us a 3rd season, but because they wanted to give us the best 3rd season they could give us.
Yeah.
And I think like that will continue to happen. I don't believe it'll go anywhere past 5. And I think that's the smart thing.
Yep, definitely.
Like I think they will keep it between that 3 to 5 seasons, and it will go out on an absolute high note. And this is the thing with the show. Like, this is created by the creator of one of my favorite live action comedies in Community. So I'm talking about Dan Harmon, of course. And this guy is some sort of like fucking comedy genius. Where like there are things that you dead set need to go back and rewatch because you've missed it. This is a series that I'm obviously up to date, like well and truly, but I have gone back and rewatched most of the episodes as well already. And when you're talking about only 3 seasons, like that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It's just that, I don't want to say deep, but it's that layered. So there's kind of like that much to it that you can go back and do that. I genuinely think that it is one of the most intelligent shows out there for what it is, but it's also very, very crass, and violent as fuck, but creative in the sense that they will literally take you anywhere. And what Futurama can't do is it can't give you that kind of R-rated violence and that R-rated sort of like language and things like that that Rick and Morty just doesn't give a shit about.
Yeah, no, I can see that, and I can appreciate Rick and Morty for that. The problem I have with Rick and Morty is the Rick and Morty fan base.
Okay,
like genuinely some of the worst people on the internet.
You know, you're probably talking about some of our listeners as well, but
hey, not all of them.
No, look, I have not seen that. I am not a part of any kind of like Rick and Morty fan group. Like, I don't even know like what are things called these days. They used to be called chat rooms. What do you kids call them, goddamn?
AIM.
But you know, like I don't know anything about that, so I can't really comment on that. I'm sure they're just passionate. And that is the difference.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
Just overly passionate, and that's fine. Like Harry Potter fans, man. Harry Potter fans are goddamn
next
crazy
level
nutcases.
So much that we made them an episode to keep them quiet.
Exactly.
Not an episode, a whole series, Troy, a whole podcast.
We've done an episode and a whole podcast to keep them from sending us mail bombs. Probably. Rick and Morty, man. That's my number one. You can like it or you can love it because I don't give a fuck. Now I'm giving him the finger. Now, that would normally take us to our listener questions segment. But I thought, hey, instead of doing that, why don't we? Because there were so many to cover off, we couldn't do it all within the time frames that we had set for the goddamn main segment of the show.
We were already running over.
So I thought maybe we could go through some honorable mentions. Shows that, you know, are beloved but didn't quite necessarily make the cut for whatever reason. We don't have to go too deep into any of them. What are some of those for you, Cade? What's one?
So we got Batman, the animated series. We didn't speak about that really at all.
Of course.
But an absolute classic.
Oh, absolutely. You know, like, basically gave us Harley Quinn as a character.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
that sort of thing. Gave us Kevin Conroy as Batman. I know there are a lot of people that love that. I am also one of them. But, you know, it's given us some, like, great stories from that time. Also an Emmy Award-winning show as well. So the critics loved it.
There you go.
I would also say Street Sharks, man. Street Sharks.
I love Street Sharks.
Street Sharks. Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh, I was just about to say Biker Mice from Mars. Those two kind of go hand in hand.
For sure. What else you got? Young Justice.
Young Justice. You cannot miss that. Amy might murder us if we didn't include that one.
For sure.
And we're talking about the good Young Justice, not that shitty Powerpuff looking one.
No, that's Teen Titans.
Is that Teen Titans?
Yeah.
Fuck that show.
Teen Titans Go. Fuck you, bitch.
Wow.
This is getting out of hand.
This is getting out of hand.
Super Friends.
Super Friends.
From back in the early 80s. That was absolutely amazing. What else have we got?
We got Captain Planet.
Oh, yes.
The Planeteers.
Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
And you know what?
Captain Planet, motherfucker.
Yeah. That taught me some very valuable lessons about all the littering that I do.
Yep. And still do.
Still do.
Even though you watched Captain Planet. Battle of the Planets was another one that was a bit of a favorite of mine growing up.
Really?
They were like the G-Force kids.
Yeah.
Where they like had like the bird costumes and stuff.
Hawkman.
No, they weren't.
No, I'm joking.
Fucking Jesus. What else?
We got Batman Beyond.
Yes.
That one's still great.
Still great. I think I only lasted a couple of seasons, though.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
think
probably
it's only like 2 or 3.
Yeah, well, which is probably why it doesn't get that much more of a mention. SpongeBob SquarePants. Don't act like as a grown-ass adult you don't still like SpongeBob, or at least SpongeBob memes.
You're lying if you say you don't.
Why are you always
Ultimate
lying?
stoner humor. You don't even have to be a stoner to enjoy it.
Exactly, because I am not, and I enjoy it.
There you go.
How could we forget probably one of the most controversial shows ever to air, South Park.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Now, that is one that probably we could have mentioned in the main segment because it is, again, for the earlier seasons of that show, it was definitely one of my favorites. That has been going for 20 years, my friend.
That is genuinely insane.
20 years. And do you remember how the animation initially was, where it was just like the little cardboard cutouts and all that sort of stuff? It was amazing. And it gave the world... some absolutely fantastic characters, but some also really like controversial shit.
Yes.
But they are not afraid to tackle anything, which is great. Trey Parker and Matt Stone are creative geniuses, goddamn.
Definitely pioneers.
For sure.
What about Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah. Not a show I really ever personally got into.
A lot of fans out there,
There are an absolute plethora of fans. And it's probably, it is something that I do want to go back and eventually try to watch because people love it so much. I've seen bits and pieces here and there and all that sort of stuff, but not enough to be able to classify myself as a fan. And we'll probably finish it off, I guess, with Ren and Stimpy. Probably one of the grossest goddamn cartoons ever.
How this never got an R rating is genuinely beyond me. It had to be that early 90s, rating system.
Was this on MTV?
Yeah.
That probably helped.
That probably helped. And Beavis and Butthead was also kind of in this era too.
Yeah. I was never a fan of Beavis and Butthead.
I could not get into that.
Not at all. Another strong mention from the people playing at home was King of the Hill as well.
Oh, yes.
Which, had its moments for me, but wasn't ever really it wasn't ever really my jam.
I don't know how that show stuck around for as long as it did. For a show that wasn't that funny, didn't tackle that many topics. It was just kind of like the Seinfeld of animation.
Yeah.
But not that funny.
But not that iconic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But hey, Ren and Stimpy though, Ren and Stimpy is something that we still talk about today. But they were there was that disgusting chihuahua and that gross ass cat.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you goddamn people?
Ugh.
Who's making this stuff up? But it was funny at times, but it was shocking for the most part.
Indeed.
But it deserves a mention as one of the best of all time for sure. That is it, my friend. I think we've spent enough time on it.
That does it for another episode, Troy.
That does it for another episode. Next goddamn week, we're going to be reviewing Kingsman: The Golden Circle. Have you watched Kingsman: The Secret Service yet?
I might be watching that tonight. Or I could be cramming it in before we go to the cinemas next week.
God damn you, I have already sent you a screenshot. iTunes has it to rent for 99 cents. There is absolutely no reason for you not to watch this movie.
This is an unpaid advertisement.
It is. But 99 cents, man, you can't go past that. The movie is fantastic.
Macklemore.
Who?
Macklemore.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know Macklemore's,
Yeah, I don't know Mac no more.
Anyway, that's next week. Until then, let's thank some people.
Let's thank the listeners, subscribers, and reviewers. Holy moly, we got to 80. That's seriously intense. We got to 81 if we're going to count them all.
Technically, we got to 81. You guys are absolutely fucking amazing. If it wasn't for you guys, there would be no show. It'd just be the two of us doing this anyway, but less mics and not as much fun, probably. I would dare say. You guys are the reason that this show happens. So please continue to listen. Continue to subscribe. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Tell your mum. Tell your dad. Tell your brother. Tell your sister. Tell your dog.
Tell your dog. Tell your local sports team. I don't know, whatever.
Get around it.
Social media.
That's at Comic Con Pod. That's for Twitter and Instagram. I'm switching it up. You can find us on Facebook. That's Comic Confidential. And also find us in the listener community. That is Comic Confidential Listener Community. That's a great group. Join other listeners of the show and discuss the topics we talk about.
Fantastic. We also have a website that is comicconpod.com where, you can get future episodes and whatever it is that you normally say.
Oh, wow.
Past episodes, future episodes, and everything in between. I got there in the end.
There you go.
We also have a Patreon.
If you want to support the show, jump onto patreon.com/ComicConPod. And from as little as $1 a week, you get early access to all the shows.
That's right.
What else?
Well, you get the Patreon only group chat.
That's true.
Potentially, I think that's for like $2. I don't even know.
It's a little bit more.
It's a little bit more, but you'll get access to episodes that no one else gets, which is just The Boys, which is a show that we do every now and then. As I spoke about at the top of the show, goddammit, I'm not going to talk about it again. But we've got this show that you get early access to. We've got Netflix and chat, which is dead set. I swear to God, it is only about a couple of weeks away. A week to 2. Tops. I said that 2 weeks ago, but there are things that are blocking it, but it is 100% definitely happening.
A wedding did get in the way.
Well, yeah, a wedding did get in the way, goddamn you, Cade. I'm sick of your shit.
Sorry, mate.
Always putting your own life before the show. But yeah, you'll get access to that, and of course you'll get access to the other show, which is probably about to drop very, very shortly, Potterheads. That is 3 weeks away. Don't be a muggle. I got nothing. I was going to try to rhyme it.
Yeah, right.
But there's nothing.
You can not rhyme muggle with anything.
Smuggle. Juggle. No, I still got nothing.
Wow.
What a fucking fantastic way to end the show. Thanks for listening. As always, I'm Troy.
I'm Cade.
And this has been Comic Confidential.
Cheers.
Peace. And that's when you put in the X-Men the Animated Series music.
You know what?
What?
Let's just do the theme music ourselves.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Dun